Good morning, everyone. We're at the launch of day one of the St. Jude's Dick Hiley Bass Tournament in Wabasha, Minnesota. You're not going to be able to hear us very well because there's lots of commotion, lots of boats launching, lots of volunteers. Go-karts, yeah, everyone, all the volunteers. But I got to show you this because we got a really cool welcome this morning with a fire truck, right? So we'll show you here in a second. Wanted to give you guys a little behind the scenes. As you can see, we got greeted by a really awesome fire truck with that giant American flag. Such a beautiful sight. We also had a flyover. They have food here for us, these amazing pastries and these muffins. And truly what we just feel when we come to this event is an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the lives we get to lead and the ability to be able to support St. Jude. All right, so if you're new around here and don't know that we are a bass fishing family, you might think, what the heck is going on here with this bass fishing tournament? So how bass fishing tournaments work is that you go out over the course of a day, you catch, in this instance, it was 6 bass. So they wanted to keep their 6 biggest bass, and they are about to weigh them in to see where they finished among the other 96 boats.
Team number 85, Matt Steffen and Hank Steffen. Oh! Little father-son duo action coming up in here. These guys raised $11,379. Oh, we're shooting. All right, you're doing the talking, dude. How many fish did y'all catch today?
6.
Bring it up there. A little bit closer. You gotta hold it. Just hold it. Yeah, there you go. Right there.
6.
About 6 fish? Okay, who caught them? You or Dad? Both of you?
Yeah.
Well, at least you're honest. You gotta teach them. There we go. 15.78. Did you have a good time out there?
Yes.
All right. You want to let Dad talk, or you're done?
We had an absolute blast on the water today. I just want to give a shout out to everyone that's here today, as well as the anglers, the people that are helping, the organizers. This event is amazing. I am humbled to be part of it. This was our first year. I don't know that we'll never not be here in the future. It's just, it's an amazing event.
Appreciate you, Matt. Thank you for being a part of it, man. Helping us even get more traction, brother. Thank you, sir. See you tomorrow. Later, Hank.
Hi, everyone. Today is day 2 of the Dick Hiley Bass Classic here in Wabasha, Minnesota. Yesterday was a busy day. We were rooting on my husband Matt and my 8-year-old Hank in the tournament, and they did pretty good, middle of the pack. But really, this tournament is not about how we do, it's about the kids. So St. Jude is, if you don't know much about St. Jude, I want to kind of fill you in today and why we've taken on this project and this cause and this organization. Friends of ours last year had their little girl diagnosed with cancer. She was 9 months old, and they ended up at St. Jude, which was the biggest blessing that they could have asked for. I didn't know much about St. Jude before that, and now we have really we've kind of latched on to their message. Would I love there to be more research as to why kid cancer is happening? Yes, and at the same time, it's gut-wrenching to me to know that kids are out there suffering all over the world with cancer, and St. Jude is doing something about that every day. So this tournament, this fishing tournament in Wabasha, the Dick Hiley Bass Classic, has been going on for 27 years. It's the #1 bass fishing fundraising tournament in the country, and the proceeds have always been to St. Jude. Last night, like I said, yesterday was a busy day. Yesterday we were at a banquet and we got reminded as to the starts and the origin of St. Jude. It was all back to an actor, Marlo Thomas's dad. I can't remember his name right now. You've probably seen the commercials on TV, and it was an homage to and a thanks for his prayer being answered. And because of that, we now have kids all over the world who have a much higher likelihood of surviving their cancer diagnosis, whereas when they started St. Jude back in the 60s, the diagnosis and survival rate was dismal. It was in like the 20%. Now kid cancer survival rates are up into the 90th percentiles, which is really, really amazing. And this tournament raised over $1.1 million. There's 96 teams this year. That is a record, the 1.1 million. As a total in the 27 years, they've raised, what they say over last night, almost $8.7 million for St. Jude. And yeah, I think it's always just going to be close to our heart now that we know that Miles and Katie and Riley got treated so well at St. Jude. I mean, I had no idea what St. Jude was. And if you're looking for a cause to give to, it's such a good one. They were there if they needed a family member, if they needed support, whether mental, physical, moral. St. Jude will pay to fly people out. They will put them up while they're there. They feed you. They do everything you need to worry about, nothing other than taking care of your child and making sure that they survive. And the good news is that Riley, 9 months after her diagnosis, got the all clear and is now cancer-free, which is so amazing. And she is such a lovely kid that it was really amazing for her to get that treatment there. Last night at the banquet, we heard a story of another fishing family, the owner of Pro Guide Batteries. Their 2-year-old, who's now 4, was diagnosed with cancer and was just recently released in early 2025 from treatment, is now cancer-free. His name is Truman. And their story I think it touched everyone in the room last night. All the anglers, all the spouses, everyone else was just, just in tears over hearing this little boy battling cancer, and they got the best cancer doctor in the world, because St. Jude is not just cancer treatment, it is cancer research. And so they have the #1 cancer research doctor for his type of cancer. And the dagger of the story was the fact that he's like, this was full circle for him, was that when they knew they were coming to the tournament to show their support for the tournament and the anglers and St. Jude, and then they found out how much the anglers had raised. He said that when they got to St. Jude, they were told who their doctor was, and then the doctor proceeded to tell them that he was going to get an experimental drug. And he was absolutely going to get it. It wasn't going to be in part of a study where he could get it or could not get it. He was going to get this drug, and this drug saved his life. And that drug was $1 million. One dose of this drug was $1 million. And he's like, knowing that you guys raise that much money, and that's what my child needed. He's like, we will forever support this tournament and support St. Jude. It was really, really touching. So anyways, you'll hear me talk about St. Jude on and off. We raised a bunch of money this year, but we'll be back next year, hopefully schedules permitting, that we can do this again and continue to raise money for St. Jude and for the kids, because if you know me in my office, I take in all the kids. Like, bring the kids to my office because I want kids to be healthy. I want them to have a chance. I want them to have a clear nervous system so they can grow up and be healthy and well. And so we take care of a lot of kids in our office. And knowing that there are kids out there that are struggling with cancer and that St. Jude is a resource for so many families, it's just incredible. If you're looking for a cause to donate and support, St. Jude could really be it. So thanks for tuning in. And if you've got questions, let me know. But I appreciate your support.